A very warm welcome to the Bucharest Major. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the grand final. 7 days of incredible Dota 2 action ends today with our 40th and final series. Two teams have made their way through, battled their way through a tricky best-of-one Swiss system, some tough quarterfinals, and some incredibly skilled teams in the semi-finals. But it all comes down to this. It is the grand final between VG.J Thunder and Virtus Pro. I'm pretty sure where the home crowd favorites are inside this arena. But that doesn't matter on the day because it's time for some history to be made between these two teams. Virtus Pro going for a third major of the season, and can China finally win a major themselves in the form of VG.J Thunder? Just two of many questions that our panel are going to answer very shortly. But first, let's look back on day number 6 as we trim the field from 5 to 2.
Previously at the Bucharest Major.
Still going to work on the racks here. The Lincoln Sphere broken again by PPD. They want anything that glimpses back, and this is going to be PPD in trouble. Pycat now trying to fight no one. Pops the BKB. Rams is getting man-fought as well. The Legion duel is there. They've got the piece from the GA, comes out of time, and they turned it. Pasha with a beautiful GA, and Roger finds himself a double kill. They'll get 3 down for Optic. This puck, he's dead for 63 seconds. He has no buyback in Optic. They're on death's door right now in this tournament. They're already down 1-0. They're losing a set of racks. They're going to lose 2 sets of racks more than likely. They GG out. It's over. There's nothing they can do. Virtus Pro will 2-0 Optic Gaming.
Glimpse onto Kaka, kinetic field to follow up. But right now, VG.J Thunder a little hesitant to initiate. No, they jump in, repel comes, but it's not enough. Mugi with the BKB on, he's just getting clicked down. GA will keep him alive, but the cavalry is here. The Omni Knight gets isolated. Mugi gets trapped up. The Requiem flies. KP will be the next to fall. SCCC doing what damage he can with that BKB, but his teammates are getting obliterated, and that's it. Good game gets called. Free stun from Kaka. Now the follow-up BKB from KP. They jump in onto the Earth Spirit, but there's the GA. They're going to try to focus down the Omni, but the Winner's Curse just comes down a little too late. Sylar having trouble sticking onto a target, but now he's found him. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Mugi, Kaka down, and SCCC in trouble. He'll get blown up, and it's Newbie that are in big trouble. Faith trying to TP, that won't happen, and now the Bruce split will expire, and KP, the last survivor of Newbie, will limp away to the top lane, but the Glimpse will ensure the kill. This is going to be a full 5-man wipe for VG.J Thunder. He goes in deep. EMP Tornado with the Ice Path and the Stomp. It actually catches 2 of them. Here comes your Ice Blast. Miracle to get caught with this one. Mataman lucky to be not, but then again the mirror. It's just the images coming out from Terrorblade. They're their own worst enemy team. Liquid, no one. He may even get out of this one with the Inferno Blade stopping the DK. No one is living in the tree lines. Mind Control can't reach him. Liquid were battling inside the base and Mind Control is stranded outside of it. Breathe Fire can't even reach no one. VP's positioning is the perfect split. Here comes comes Pasha with a bar strike forward, but all of the damage is instantly repaired. Pasha can't do anything. They've lost no 1-2. There's just nothing in the tank for Virtus Pro. Already turns on the reflection. Miracle hitting himself pretty hard, has the BKB available, pushed away. GH trying to help him out with that kick. Miracle, now BKB turns around, goes after Solo. He will stand his ground with the damage into
So
Ramses.
close.
Ramses,
No.
Miracle! He thunders over on mind control, gets him back to life. Pasha wants to end this, and he'll do so. Everybody home. All running in. Mind control, this is his moment to get that Ravage off for the BKBs. No one got his off in time. And the Rock with the Fatal Bonds. Ramsey slow, but he thunders GH. It's all the life back once more with the exorcism damage. Liquid cannot withstand this much power.
And that's what happened yesterday. Welcome to the Bucharest Major, where we are in the final day. It is Grand Finals day, and we've got two men alongside me who love their Dota, and they're looking forward to a fantastic final regardless of the outcome. Of course, two men that are well experienced as well at the desk, and we brought them out for the Grand Final as well. Although we have something a little bit different here. We are going to spice things up with a change of desk in between games and a change of commentators, so we get all of the talent that you know and love throughout the whole show, delivering you the Grand Final. So we kick off with the very best two panelists there are, which I'm going to say that every time, by the way, whenever we get two new panelists. It is, of course, KBBQ and Suns fan. How you doing?
Hello.
Good.
KBBQ. I haven't heard anybody call you that in quite a while, actually.
I just break it out a little bit.
I almost forgot that was his
old
handle,
school,
to be perfectly honest.
Just a little bit of old school. We know him as Jack, of course.
Yeah, it's a long, tough road to the finals. Even for some of us, sometimes this morning, long story short, we took a cab with Sumail to the wrong location. But I want to thank a pair of gentlemen, like volleyball players, who helped guide us up here when we ultimately got out from Uber at the right location, but down the hill.
You literally arrived 6 minutes ago. And I'm not even exaggerating. It was like 6 minutes ago you had to arrive. Good job Sumail wasn't playing in the final, really, wasn't it? You'd have been blamed for losing a player.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. But then hopefully he wouldn't be following us to the venue either.
That's true. That's true. We're going to just talk about the tournament as a whole and how we got here over the last 6 days. But before we do that, there's a very important question I've got to ask you, Shannon.
Oh, boy.
What would you call people who were Suns fans and a fan of the Sun who was a Suns fan? Would they be called Sun fans, Suns fans, Suns fans?
Who sent you that? Where is that material from? Where are you getting
It's
that?
just a question from a fan who's a Suns fan and a fan of you Suns fan, that's all.
It's an infinite fan of
It is,
Suns
and you've
fan,
brought them
I
with
guess.
you today on your tie.
Oh, yes. You can't really see it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All my ties are very subtle, but...
We need 4K.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Well, one day, esports will get there, I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely. We'll be in 10K before you know it. How you doing, anyway?
Not too bad. Very excited for today. It's going to be some epic Dota. I think VP definitely, of course we'll get into this a little later, definitely the favorites, I want to say. Of course, Jack might have something else to say about that. I would love to see this go.
Bias over in the corner.
Maybe a little bit. I think bias is okay as long as you're upfront about it. I'm biased about everything.
Let's just put it all on the table, Jack. Who do you manage?
Yes.
Even my company man bias, I'm not sure if I can overcome the fact that I think VP are coming in definitely as the favorites in this series.
Really?
There's one person who disagreed. I saw Mind Control at breakfast, and he said he predicted VG.J 3-1. But even I am not that bullish on VG.J's chances in this series.
Sorry, hold on, guys. I'm just going to call. Sorry, hold on. That's Jeremy Lin? Yeah? Jack's fired? Oh.
What a shame.
Well, then I get to come back and spend more time with you guys. So it's a win either way.
What a good boy. What a good boy.
Presumably he's going to be watching his boys today, isn't he?
Yeah, we'll definitely be cheering for them. He's a couple times he's visited them as well, and last year spent some time with them. Of course, he's got his NA favorite son over here instead now, so it's hard. But I think for Chinese fans, the expectations and the pressure, from what I've seen so far, there's not too much pressure or expectations on this. To them, this is already a breakthrough performance for Thunder. We're glad to be here type of thing. So they shouldn't be feeling that kind of weight of expectations that some of the other teams frequently deal with. If you're a newbie, if you're a VG, they expect to be here, and if you underperform, it's very easy for them to get a lot of flack back home for that.
Is there any scenario where they're disappointed with the result? Like if they're kind of expecting to lose, which you never want to say that, but at the end of the day, you kind of are. 3-0, let's say. they would be disappointed with that, I'm sure.
It depends how the games go. Make it a respectable series.
You guys
put
are
up a
getting
fight.
way too ahead anyway. Way too ahead. We've got plenty to talk about. Why don't we show you where we were in terms of the brackets and how we got here, because it has been a long road for these two teams, but there have been a number of really good performances along the way, not least of which, I guess, from TNC, making the quarterfinals. That's a great performance. Don't get any points for it, which is a shame. Optic Gaming also shown us that they have got some fight in them, and they look good for some DPC points throughout the season. They finished in the top 8 too. And I guess EG as well, coming through a really good group stage. Those were the 3 that probably stood out that haven't made it to the grand final.
I don't want to be a hater, but some teams were quite fortunate the way that the cookie crumbled, if you will, based on the best-of-1 group stage.
Okay.
I thought TNC and VG.J Thunder were both very fortunate to face each other, because the winner of that gets DPC points right off the bat, right?
Nope. Well,
the winner of
when
that
they faced
series.
again, you mean in the quarterfinals?
No, in the playoffs.
Yes.
Because once they actually matched up with each other, then and then I thought Optic is kind of in the same tier as those 3 teams. Of course, I could be wrong about VG.J Thunder because they destroyed Newbie, but again, you know more about this than me. I just felt like perhaps they faced them a lot more often, so they're a little bit more comfortable. But we're going to really put them to the test today, right? That's when we'll actually find out what this team's all about.
Yeah, indeed. So what do you make of Evil Genius's run then? Is it disappointing, or is it actually an improvement on where they were? Does it show that they're making good strides?
I think, though, the big breakthrough result hasn't been there. I think they've been steadily improving still. Again, you have to resolve chemistry issues. They had a resource distribution problem that they wanted to deal with the roster change. You got to figure out people's play styles and still make that mesh together. And I think they've been showing out a little bit stronger. In this tournament, they technically, I guess, went 2-2 with Liquid. So obviously, like a very strong team there. And that was one of the stories of the group stage as well. It's NA starting off strong, and.
Good stuff.
All right, I like that. Well, they've always been strong with the memes, so.
I actually can't tell if Misery's been photoshopped at all. It's very, very
Those
accurate
are some
depiction.
impressive, angry eyebrows, I have to say.
Especially for Sumail. Yeah, for EG, I agree. I'm not worried about them for long term, because the way that they've set themselves up, it's kind of for the future, right? It's not something you're going to figure out right away. So I'm not super surprised when you're switching things up this much, having a mid player play off lane, and then half the time he's actually playing mid. It's just all over the place. I mean, these players are ridiculously good on paper. I think up to par with literally any other team in the entire world. And it's just going to take some time to actually figure it out. Especially when the captain is the change. That's like, people don't
big
really
change.
Realize how huge of a change that is when you change your captain.
Especially to a captain who doesn't want to be a captain.
Yes.
But that's a moment for another story. That was Suns fans quote. Let's take a look at 2 teams that perhaps we haven't talked about a huge amount over the last couple of days, because they are already out. It's, of course, OG and Pain Gaming. These 2 guys were our kind of storylines for the event, one of which, of course, because there was a team in there who had a Romanian player, and we were kind of hoping for the home crowd here that he would get through. Just a shame that he didn't make it through, unfortunately, which is our friend Weeha.
That's my boy. Weeha is my boy. I have adopted him.
See, I was waiting for it.
Yes, the delayed
home
reaction.
Crowd cheers for the boy. He hasn't quite made it through. I mean, that was always going to be a tough road, wasn't it, with Pain? I mean, a Romanian and 4 Brazilians, I don't even know how that works, but it kind of worked during the group stage. They won a game, and they looked quite good in a couple of those games.
I mean, I hate to say this, but for the South American squads, it's very low expectations. So when we're saying, yeah, they won a game, that's like a good thing. They got to start getting their stuff together at some point, right? Because it's been, 6 months now? You have another few months to go until TI. You're gonna get that spot, and I think Valve is going to reevaluate things after that. I mean, I'm not sure if they're actually going to change anything, but they're going to definitely reevaluate to see if this is feasible going forward, because it does feel like, in a lot of ways, that these slots are being taken up for teams that just aren't performing at all on any level.
I hear you. Although we want it to be a global sport, so
absolutely, I think it's good.
We want to promote South America, we want to promote Africa, Middle East, and what have you. Don't we?
Oh, I totally agree. And the Middle East is huge. Like, we have a lot of players from the Middle East that are doing really well as well. So very happy about that personally.
I'm glad you addressed that. That is like a major issue. Obviously, with tournaments held in different regions, you're going to have preference on where the slots are coming from. Generally speaking, European tournaments are going to have more European teams. Chinese tournaments are going to have more Chinese teams. So interestingly enough, for the Chinese scene, which is very deep and has a lot of teams, for them it's like it's such a rat race. There aren't that many tournaments that have that many Chinese slots compared to before. It's hard for them to get the points. At the same time, though, VG Gaming, I think twice this year they've already lost to Pain in tournaments. So for them to anyone to go out and say, maybe South America, like, should they constantly be getting getting the automatic spot, making it tougher for everyone else. Well, they are slowly gaining experience. They are showing that they can beat some of the better teams, obviously with the secret big upset coming last year, but they've yet to really put it together for obviously a points finish in any of these major
I also
tournaments.
don't think it's their problem entirely as well. And we're kind of talking about this backstage. I don't know how you feel about this, but the whole idea of a team relocating to South America, people think, oh, that's kind of cheap. You're just getting. I think that's great for South America because they're going to learn a lot from that experience.
Well, how about they do what the CS guys did and they move from South America and they go to North America and they play there?
Then they're North American.
But then they're playing, right?
Oh, sure, but then you're not getting that free slot, essentially.
Sure, but
right?
the actual team, the scene still benefits from that,
you could
by
definitely
having someone to aim for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that could be another option as well, but only time will tell how that turns out.
All right, our other two groups of teams, one of which was the dark horse team. So let's take a look at those. We picked out 3 teams at the start of this tournament who were dark horses to win the entire thing. And I have to tell you, on the morning of day 1, I got so much hate on Twitter for picking out VG.J. I just want to say to you guys, I love you all.
Get wrecked. Get wrecked.
Because they have made their way through all the way to the ground. I think that was 3 good. I mean, Shannon, you made the point that why would you have EG in dark horses? But actually, you kind of have to at the moment. They haven't won a single DPC tournament.
It kind of depends on your criteria of what a dark horse is, right?
Sure.
For me, historically speaking, it's just like a dark horse is a team you never expect to win that might do well.
Yeah.
EG, it's just hard for me to look at them and say they're not going to be good, right? It's just like, how can you not do better than this?
It's the same with OG, isn't it? I mean, are you like the bitterly disappointed father as far as OG are concerned? You're not mad, you're just disappointed.
So I've kind of embarrassed myself many a time in so many interviews this year, because especially like September, October time, where people ask me which team you think is going to rival Liquid after winning TI. Like OG. They've won 4 majors. All they've changed is for Ana, they replaced with Resolution, which is an upgrade for all intents and purposes. And of course, I'm very biased, of course, because Resolution's a god. But the thing that I didn't really take into account is that it's kind of a different playstyle than they're used to playing, right? Because they're Resolution going back to mid lane, but still playing carry role. They just haven't quite figured that out yet as far as the dynamic goes. But yeah, I'm very disappointed with the way OG just hasn't figured it out yet. But they're so close. Like if you look at the games, if I look here real quick, they played OG. They played Navi, they beat them. Then they played Newbie, which, Newbie won.
It was a tough game.
And the big game that they lost was Optic. That was a huge loss for them. And then from there, they went on to play Mineski. They won that, and then they lost to Team Liquid. You don't really expect to see Team Liquid in that Game 5 deciding factor. But
yeah, it was a tough draw for them, wasn't it? We almost felt like they could have got almost any of the other
they're
teams.
Very
they would have
close.
had a better chance.
They definitely improved since the beginning of the year, but I mean, that's a team like on paper, 1 through 5. I'm like, who's better than this team,
Yep,
they're definitely up there.
World-class players, that's for sure.
Even look at how they perform in the regional qualifiers. They've just been steamrolling everyone there. It's just hard to imagine 2 of those teams being considered dark horses. The 4-time major champions and team that has like some of the most decorated players in the world. It's hard to see them in that position. But yet, so far, the lands haven't been up to their standards.
Well,
so far.
and this is kind of a different take on it as well. Secret and Liquid are getting invited to literally every tournament, right?
Yeah.
So who does OG play in these qualifiers? They're playing not those teams. So they actually maybe can't get quite, I mean, they're definitely scrimming it, but scrimming is totally different. So that's another thing to kind of take into account. But
yeah, we definitely had that argument before as well. The final one of the groups of teams is the major champions, which we've already talked about. OG, of course, Shannon making the point that they are 4 times major champions, and there are only other 2 teams who have won a major so far. There have been 8 majors in Dota 2 history. 2 of them have been won by Team Secret, 4 of them by OG, and 2 by our finalists today, Virtus Pro. And Liquid still without a major. GH is going to hate me right now after putting that graphic up. But they still don't have a major. They do have an international. That's kind of, that's a decent haul, isn't it?
I think I would trade.
If you want to win 1 international for 4 majors, do you want to trade?
I think I'd trade 8 majors for the 1 international pretty easily. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. And I think but a lot of the players would probably agree with you as well. I think Fly, No Tail, all of those guys would probably take that alongside it.
Well, wait,
but interestingly today, sorry, Jack, we have Virtus Pro with a chance of making it 3. And we would then still keep 3 teams. Only 3 teams would have ever won a major.
That's going to break up soon enough.
Yeah. Is it going to be today, Jack? Because that's the big question right now. Can China finally win a major?
Mind Control thinks so.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not sure if too many others do, though. I wanted to ask you, Shannon, so what would your exchange rate be? How many majors would it take for you to trade in for international?
Well, it's not just money, right? It's the idea of being on the ages.
Champions, right?
Yeah, you're going to be forever remembered. You're going to be
You're a
in
basketball
game.
You
fan.
speak with the authority and word of a TI champion. It's just not the same.
Yes, I agree. It is not. Like, I won 4 majors. Who cares?
Yeah.
I won a TI. Get wrecked.
Yeah, you're a basketball fan. So how many playoffs would you take for 1 ring?
So it's like I don't know, maybe we can ask LeBron that question. He's been there a lot, but
Yes, that's true. Sad times for him.
Yeah. Yeah, we're slightly diverging off, but that's okay.
Oh,
I don't mind.
if you want me to
do some,
if you want me to go off even more about basketball, I can do that for another 30 minutes. But
I came ready. I have because you're the Suns fan. I
Yes.
have a Phoenix Suns basketball player comparison for every member of VG.J.
Do you really?
Really?
Wow.
Including the coach.
Okay,
right.
this could get quite nerdy.
A lot of people will not get this reference. I'm super ready.
All right. I'll give you 2 big ones. You ready?
Okay, sure.
Okay, I have ROTK. He's definitely Jason Kidd.
What? I was going to say Charles Barkley.
No. Well, one of the best players of his generation, like brash personality, immediately became a domineering coach after he retired. That's definitely Jason Kidd. I got a couple more for you.
All right, hold on. I'm going to just disagree with you right off the bat and say Charles Barkley never won a ring and is very animated.
All right.
We've lost a lot of
RTK,
people,
very
but
animated, and never won a TI. Does that work for you?
See, I would put Charles Barkley more in the Siler tier because also never won a ring.
Okay.
Tends to get embroiled in controversy, very outspoken, puts himself out there. I'd probably put him more in that category.
Do you know, as much as I want to carry on with these conversations, and I do, we need to move on.
do you like Michael Jordan?
I do like Michael Jordan.
Right.
But just while we're on the analogy, I just want to clear this up because this morning Jack comes to me and he says, I've got this Ivan Drago thing going on as an analogy for teams today. And I was like, right, I'm not quite sure how we use this. Who's Ivan Drago then? And he was like, Virtus Pro. So I was like, so that makes VG.J Rocky then?
Yeah,
I like the comparison.
It makes
Does that work?
Secret is Clubber Lang.
Okay. Secret's Clubber
I mean,
Lang.
if Rocky was in real life, Rocky would have lost, right? So it might be more accurate than you think.
Liquid as Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
You gotta give me something.
I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I think the analogies came up afterwards with Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Steven Seagal were probably closer.
Oh, God. Not them.
Yeah, it was a strange breakfast. Let's put that way.
It was a very strange
There's a strange
breakfast.
focus about Virtus Pro. So usually those guys, they taught me some bad words in Russian when we see each other. That's usually how we greet each other. This time around, when I first saw Ramses and Owen, I don't think I've seen no one smile all tournament, except like in the booth when they're about to win. Yeah. He's looked really focused. Same with Ramses. I feel like they really have something to prove after obviously big recent roster changes.
I just think that first game they lost to Optic was an eye-opener. I kind of said that in the series, that helped them kind of focus in, again, when they played them, just completely dumpster them overall. Maybe that was the wake-up call they needed, and they just quick refocus, and you're right, they definitely have a different demeanor this time around.
Yeah, definitely.
Because overconfidence
Probably
is
the
kind
best
of
thing
in
that
there.
could have happened to them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I totally agree. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when a team has overconfidence issues, which, like, let's be real, a lot of these Dota players have big heads, Jack. Can we agree on that? They very stubborn, very young, very naive.
I mean, I was going to bring that up, actually, is that there are 2 sides to this. Well, the first one is complacency, which is the word I think you would have to give Virtus Pro. They've got to be careful of that today, haven't they? Because it'd be very easy to think, we've beaten Liquid already, we're already qualified for TI, VG.J Thunder have never been in a final, China have never won any major. It starts to rack up and you start going, well, this should be easy then. I mean, I don't for a second think they're sitting there thinking it's going to be an easy game, but there is an element of it's got to be easier than the semis.
It's just human nature to feel that way. You just can't underestimate your opponent, especially when VG.J Thunder are on such a roll right now. Momentum, maybe not quite as obvious of a thing versus like real sports or whatever, like traditional sports.
Careful.
But momentum is definitely a thing. I remember in Boston Major for DC, for example, we faced out on Ad Fenem, and I mean, I still think they were a far worse team than us, but their momentum just carried them.
That week,
hard
they were on fire, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the other side of this as well, Jack, do you feel like if Virtus Pro, going back to what Shannon was just saying about they lost that first game in the tournament, if they lose the first game today, is that actually worse for VG.J in some ways because they've kind of woken the beast then, and then they're like, oh no, we've woken them up early, let's not do that. Let's lose the first one, win the second one, lose the third one, win the fourth one, and then win game 5. Do you think that's an easier road for VG.J?
Could be. I think it would give them a lot of much-needed confidence. I think it would really prove to them, hey, like we're on the same tier, we can hang with these guys.
Right.
And then if you want to talk about incentive, the reverse side of that is all those things that you just mentioned that VP locked up, VG.J is still playing for those things. They made a sudden jump in the standings, but they're nowhere near obviously locked in for TI or anything else. They have to grind and struggle the rest of the season to even get there. So they may not have that much pressure in the form of expectations, but they have a lot, like literally the Everest of esports to try to climb their way into. So.
But with very little expectation on them, either from the Chinese scene or actually from anywhere in the Dota scene right now. It's almost a surprise to see them come this far. So everyone's sort of sitting there thinking, oh, they've done so well. Even if they finish second, they've done really. They're not thinking like that. But the pressure must be a lot less for them. That must be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, last night I had dinner with the team, and everyone's like, pretty loose and stuff, and yeah, it's a general atmosphere of like, we've done pretty well. Let's just keep on going with what we know and how we play.
That's a bit of a scary mentality. Not to bring up these same analogies again, but DC at TI and Adfinem at Boston Major, they had the exact same mentality where we're happy to be here, and they're trying to tell themselves, no, we got to keep going, but at the same time, they're just thinking, we've done really well. That's when you take back, especially when you have that extra day to think about it. You don't just play right away, you just ride on that momentum. Yeah. It might even hinder your ability to continue that momentum. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, indeed. Just very quickly, Jack, as well, I want to get your thoughts on DDC. The addition to him means they've only lost 4 games since he joined. It's a phenomenal record. Was he the final piece of the puzzle? Because it just seems like one guy can't make that much difference, surely.
It absolutely can. I mean, I'd compare him to the Steve Nash
Here we go.
Of this team.
Yes, he's my boy.
He comes in and sets the table for everyone else with his consistent play. Again, it's someone you can trust from a support position that enables your other support, Fade, to feel confident that he can focus on his job, which is to make plays and provide vision. So DDC, in terms of countering vision, in terms of protecting his carries, securing his core's farm, which isn't always done through getting kills. A lot of times it's really just your positioning and those little subtle differences that define a very experienced and strong support player. You know this guy's going to be steady. You know he's going to have outsized team fight impact. You know he's going to be in position. And also, very importantly, you know that he is going to be able to get along with these senior players on the team. He played with Siler for, I think, about 3 years, right? So they know each other very well. Obviously commands a lot more respect as well. So sometimes it really does make that much of a difference, not even because of pure skill, but various other psychological factors too.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get more from both of you in just a minute. Just finally, before we bring the players out, because I know the crowd are itching right now, and if you haven't sat down, you need to, because the guys are almost ready. One final thing, in as shorter words as you can make it, which way do you go? Jack, VG.J, or Virtus Pro? This is before drafts. Give me a prediction for the final.
Look, the Chinese are very conscious about jinxing the favorites, so for that reason as well, I'm going to have to go with VP here.
Okay.
Yeah, VP.
VP, all right. Okay. Both of our analysts think Virtus Pro are the favourites as they head into the grand final. I think that's pretty unanimous. On the poll outside, it was 78% in favour of Virtus Pro. They've got a lot of weight on their shoulders, but they can certainly carry it. The underdog tag suits VG.J Thunder perfectly well too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand final of the Bucharest Major.
The story of the Bucharest Major has reached its final chapter. And these 5 players want to have the last word. They have gone through hell and back. They fought like they have never done it before. And somehow, their master plan brought them just one step away from the trophy. Through limitless courage, distinguished skill, and amazing teamwork, they made the crowd go crazy. But now, they have to show the world that even legends crumble. The stage is set, and there is no going back. For them, now, this is the only game that really matters. welcome on stage, VG.J Thunder. Many teams had the dream of reaching this moment. But dreams rarely do come true. And yet, for this team, the dream is about to become a reality. They managed to smash their rivals through calculated risk and unmatched brilliance. But their job here at the Bucharest Major is not yet done. Now, it is time for them to go beyond expectations and surpass their last standing opponents. This is the moment when true heroes stand out. This is the moment when legends are born. But will it be their moment?
Those souls were not yours to claim, Shadow Fiend.
Welcome on stage, Virtus Pro.
When you
Here we go then, moments away from the grand final of the Bucharest Major. Virtus Pro and VG.J Thunder going head-to-head for all the points and all the prize money. $500,000 go to the winners, and perhaps more importantly, those all-important DPC points as well. Shannon.
I have to say, that announcer is awesome.
VG.J Thunder, your dreams will not come true.
What kind of a defeat is that?
How dare you have dreams, Shannon?
Rarely dreams come true.
That's very negative.
He needs to be just the reality check voice. It would be quite good. I actually like the heroes. Interestingly enough, just noticing these. Shadow Fiend has been a hero that
I wondered if you picked this up.
has gone consistently too.
That's a Dota Cinema set, by the way. Just saying.
Oh,
the best Shadow Fiend
I've
set
heard
out
of them
there.
before.
Yes, good set. Sorry, quick shout out. Sorry, I interrupted.
I was
Any
hoping
chance.
for What the Horse to follow that one right
yes.
up.
What the Horse was on the screen there, yes. Yeah, this is going to be a good match, I think.
It is, yeah.
I'm predicting 3-1. It's kind of a hopeful 3-1. But I personally, I know people are going to be maybe against me here. I would love to see VG.J Thunder win this, because not only Chinese winning their first major, VG.J Thunder kind of emerging amongst the, kind of like a phoenix through the flames or whatever.
Yeah.
Just, we need another tier 1 team. I don't think, even if they win though, that's not quite enough to be tier 1. You have to have sustained success over a few months at least, but that would be an amazing start for them.
Here's what's also disappointing. They have to do it again, because that's not enough to get them into TI. They're going to need to come back and do it again and again and get some more points, so not quite enough. Also, I want to talk to you, Jack, about this. There are 3 teams in the Vici family. Actually, there's technically 4, but there are 3 at the top right now. What happens if this version of the team wins a major before the main team wins it, considering they've been in 4 finals this season?
Yeah.
That's going to be a bit edgy, isn't it?
Well, actually, those two teams have been very opposite the last 2 years. If you look at how VG reformed last year, they had a couple of newer players, and it was actually VG.J last year that had the star pickup. They had aggressive ROTK, FY Fenrir, and then this year was kind of the opposite. It was this team that started off with two of the newer guys from VGP coming up with Fade and Io. They brought Freeze back, and then it was VG this year with the big name pickups, the Paparazzi, Lanham, Ori, and those guys. So, but instead, as far as results have gone, I mean, VG has been consistent, but I think this patch for them and for a team like Secret, maybe a little bit slower, maybe a little bit greedier than the pace of this patch allows. So they've struggled a little bit, and so Thunder has emerged with a very consistent play style. And as long as you keep them on their game, I mean, they're a pretty strong team.
I think Vici Gaming, not to harp on them too much, but I think the format of this tournament also did not help them, or did not do any favors for them in this this particular time. I feel really bad for them, by the way, because that continued second place, and it happened to Dotapet, happened to Captain Josh specifically, where they have this lead, and they just completely the complete meltdown.
Purge and I talked about this a lot, and we basically agreed that they lost that 4-0. But they should have won it 4-0, even though it was a best of 5. And we were just like, wait, that maths doesn't work. But actually, they did. They were winning 4 of those games in that final. It was crazy.
Yeah. But I think we're going to – that's a team a lot of people discount. I think that they're still going to find some success going forward.
I mean, they've still got a lot of points. They're still up there in the top 6 anyway. And
for now.
Not too far away from it in terms of qualifying for the international.
Now
long way to go still.
They have the little brother now, VG.J Thunder, coming up.
Yeah, they're up to 6th place right now in the standings. And I was also talking to a couple of the players this morning. Almost all the teams right now below VG.J Thunder are all praying that Virtus Pro win.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that seems a bit mean. I thought you would have wanted that. And they're like, no, because if Virtus Pro win, it lowers the amount of points we need to get in. So that's why.
Yeah, everybody wants top heavy.
I talked to KB about this last night, actually. He said, basically this was something that he'd never thought about in years previous, because you kind of take care of business, and you don't really know how the system works. It's all laid out clearly this year. And so KB's like, now I find myself kind of, if we're not winning the tournament, I find myself rooting for these top teams, because then they keep the three-way stranglehold, and we're still, in there. If someone else wins, it starts to get more and more crowded. He's like, that gives me something extra to think about that I hadn't really had to consider before.
Yeah, that's true. And in terms of key players, who stands out on either side, Jack, for you? Who are going to be the key players in this grand final?
I think it once again comes down to kind of the difference at the 3 position. So again, Yang, he has excelled throughout though these are his signature heroes this tournament. Last few weeks, he's really excelled with the kind of tanky frontliners rather than initiation. So these Underlords, these Tide Hunters, Omni when it gets through, which is pretty rare in general for most teams. He's even Brewmaster. He's really excelled on that instead of being more of the initiator playmaker. That's a bit in contrast to Pasha. I think they've picked like Sand King almost every chance that they get. Like he's still more on this kind of initiator type. So that kind of clues you into a slight difference in play style between these two teams, though they're both very sound and balanced. That's something that could be there to look at.
Okay, we're going to get into our draft for the first game of this grand final. And banned so far 2 apiece. Sand King.
Very big prediction here, guys. Gyrocopter will be picked or banned this game.
That's a huge prediction from you.
Just throwing it out there.
Ooh. Risky. It's only been
hopefully banned.
Picked 27 times during this tournament of 39 games.
I don't know how you feel, Paul, but I'd rather not see that hero. Just a little too much.
I'm okay with it, but it is getting a bit
still.
boring. Yeah, I mean, I quite like the Lunas yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, Luna, fun to watch.
Yeah, as a sort of temporary sort of replacement for it.
I mean, the cool thing about Luna is you put them in a lot of times in a tri lane, very strong, and you get these really early kills, early engagements. So
why has that not come out before, Jack, do you think? Because we've not really seen the Luna too much during the group stages, but it came out in the quarters and we've seen it again.
It emerged as a nice, like a lot of similarities to the Gyrocopter. It also can be good against some of these offlaners that we're seeing. Again, you add like another hero or two there. You have a lot more potential. Maybe they don't run at you as hard and kind of expose that, and you can still farm quickly. You have teamfight presence. You can make life tough for the offlaner.
Congrats, Suns fan. You are correct.
I'm a god.
You're such a god at this.
All right, Disruptor's next, guys. Okay. And then, I mean, Naga is still there, isn't she?
That's one other difference. The Thunder doesn't really play much Naga, so they're unlikely to pick
See, called it.
You totally called that Bane ET.
Just different cosmetics. You guys can't recognize them. Valve, you're going way over the top now.
The Elder Titan, a lot of team fight, and also combos pretty well with the hero like Gyrocopter when you have that hybrid damage. Thunder were absolutely not going to let Chen through this game. That's another kind of difference between these two teams. Roger plays both Chen and Enchantress. This jungle pool of heroes that Thunder does not really play. So with the damage that Chen did yesterday on Newbie, there's no way they were going to let that through this game. And you see Virtus.pro kind of aiming at Sylar a little bit, because when Sylar is in control, when he is the tank commander, he gets these heroes that go around, take objectives when they're really strong. It becomes a much easier game by feel for VG.J. So that was something that Virtus.pro wanted to deal with.
I thought it was an interesting interview. I don't know if you caught the words yesterday of Solo. He was saying they were talking about Oracle, and he was saying, it's such a good hero right now. You almost wonder sometimes whether he says these things on purpose for the following day's match, right? So he's making them think, is it a good hero, or do we need to ban it? Is it that good a hero?
I used to think the same thing as Disruptor gets picked here. Of course, I don't know Solo that well, but a lot of these players
He's a mind gamer.
They don't think that far ahead a lot of the time.
He does. I'm pretty sure he does.
I think you can take a lot of stuff from traditional sports, though, and use these mind games against them. And you're right. If Solo did that, that's pretty next level.
It's something that they have picked a few times. The hero obviously was buffed a little bit again in a recent patch. Offers
not massively, though.
Not massively, but offers great protection against obviously single target and magic damage, and he can be used as part of this raid boss lineup where if you want to build around your Gyrocopter and keep him alive, he can certainly fit in that toolkit.
So they do go for the Disruptor?
I think Thunder, seeing the Gyro, are thinking we're going to want to send a really strong bullying lane at him. That's what this ET Bane combo has been known for. Elder Titan, you put him, let's say, in the off lane, stacking camps, picking up that extra damage, or as part of a duo off lane, and he can really get in Gyro's face and slow him down.
You know who I want to see Underlord this game, and I want to see him second phase, not last pick, because I think it might get banned as the final one, but we'll see. And also, who else is in the pool right now? Death Prophet was banned very early, so that's been getting through a lot, but not this time around, obviously. Don't think it's going to be picked because they already have their position 5 and 4, I assume, but Night Stalker has been a very popular pick for VG.J Thunder. I feel like the only team that runs that
as
currently.
a support.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vision, especially if DDC gets the teamfight hero, they can have that position focus more on Vision, a Bounty Hunter, Night Stalker, even Tusk to some extent. And you can consider Elder Titan to also be a Vision hero of sorts. I think for their offlaner, they'd probably consider something like a Brewmaster at this point. There's the Underlord that you mentioned, helps them hold towers, that we see picked with or against Gyro as well. So.
They've also been favoring Shadow Fiend a decent amount. I kind of like Shadow Fiend with Elder Titan quite a bit. The synergy with the minus armor and just to set up for a nice Requiem, especially with Bane as well.
Yeah, another hybrid damage dealer that benefits, as you say, from the Elder Titan. Now, something they've run consistently on Freeze, pretty aggressively in the mid lane.
Another hero that we haven't seen picked up yet that some teams have just been favoring super early as in first 2 picks is AA, which is hilarious to see. That hero just feels like, suddenly completely overpowered or just garbage another week. It's just a lot of flip-flopping in terms of how powerful that hero actually is.
Yeah, Virtus.pro has liked to pair that with the Sand King. If they did it this game, again, it allows them the opportunity to kind of tri-lane against Thunder's tri-lane. Obviously, with the Chilling Touch on your heroes, you can fight back against these lane bullies like the ET and the Bane pretty well. So that's a possibility for them to go with as well.
When you have an ET, does that just dissuade you completely from picking Morph or Terrorblade, do you think, for VG.J or for Virtus.pro? Because you could just run the Gyro mid, and then obviously Ramsey's been playing a lot of that TB, but Elder Titan, on paper, it 100% counts them, right? But teams seem to not care at times. They just play around it because they're very high skill, just repositioning to not be bothered by him.
Yeah, EG this tournament brought in the very early Morphling selections, but haven't seen VP played as much, and there's the Brewmaster.
All right, Brew.
So Yang's Brew is confirmed.
Brew's probably the cuddliest hero in the game, I would say. In case you were wondering.
It's the Seraction slacks of the game.
Oh my. Pretty sure that's Omni Knight. But
well, he would have you think it was, but that's Omni's not very cuddly.
The physique, not as much.
Yeah.
All right, Tiny. So is this going to be a Pasha Tiny, I assume?
We've also seen no one play it. It might be Ramses on the Gyro.
Okay, yeah. That's the cool thing about these lineups these days, where everything feels like a flex pick. Disruptor probably not going to be your mid hero, but if you go back a few years with Bulba back in the 1v1 mid days, That was good stuff.
It's no one's most played over the last 3 months, so it's generally him, but there is some flexibility here.
It's just become a necessity in the draft, with lanes being more and more important and the jungle being more and more punitive. You have to make sure that you have viable lanes. That's, I mean, the basis of Dota, right? And so if you reveal your lanes too early, commit to them too early, and they get countered, then you could have a really tough time. And so
Charles Barkley of Dota right there.
Did you two have a bet on how many basketball conversations you could have on the opening show?
No, but it feels like it, doesn't it?
if we did have that bet, I think we would have won if we took the under.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right, so VP looking for a Ramses hero and a Roger hero.
I just wonder as well, they will have watched those matches with the Luna, both on Newbie and VG.J Thunder. Virtus Pro would know it's coming. They're either not scared of it, or they've got a plan for it.
Yeah.
I think something like the Earth Spirit might be good here. Gives them a bit of reach, has some kill potential. It's something that you have to worry about if you run something like the Shadow Fiend mid on Thunder. It's one of Roger's heroes, and also like a bit of long distance cancels for the Bane and the Elder Titan.
Yeah, we've been seeing some really clutch Earth Spirit games. I don't know how, I was questioning how the hero would be, or heroes like that, in fact, with the bounty changes. Because you're not going to be getting that easy experience anymore. You're completely relying on actually getting kills.
They get a junk.
So I think it's pretty clear now, in all likelihood. I mean, technically you could switch it up, but a Ramses Juggernaut now.
Yeah, more than likely a Ramses Juggernaut. Yeah. It's interesting, if you look at the bans, again, very heavily focused towards Roger. It was the same in the semi-final.
Just feels like position 4 is just so powerful.
Yeah, right. Very, very difficult. And he's such like GH in many ways, very difficult to ban against right now.
That's one of the big disparities. Again, they don't play the jungle hero, and they don't really play the Naga, so you want to keep those heroes out of your opponent's hands when they're so potent right now.
So of the top 6 or 7 heroes that Roger plays, only the Kunkka, the Tusk, and the Nyx remain.
Kunkka, Nyx, and what?
Kunkka, Tusk, and Nyx.
Tusk, okay.
Yeah. The Shaker's also in there as well, which he's been playing wildly well in some of the games.
I could see Tusk being pretty good here. Pretty aggressive lineup. I mean, Gyro wants to fight early. Juggernaut, he wants to farm a little bit, but can fight early. And obviously, Tiny just wants to jump everybody constantly.
It does offer a lot of save, too. You have that up against the Eclipse. Obviously, like a lot of the other disables that Thunder has.
If he doesn't get slept, the Elder Titan ult won't hit. Yeah.
Yep.
Good call there, Paul. Tusk indeed. I like this lineup quite a bit. All right, what do we want for VG.J Thunder, Jack?
So someone up in the mid, maybe there is still something like a DK left in the pool. They don't have like the kind of traditional tower hitter right now. That's something that
they don't go back for the SF that they've been favoring.
5 seconds remaining.
It's a possibility, but they have to worry about protecting him, getting roamed on, especially if they want to run a strong lane up against the Gyrocopter. They may not have as many resources to protect him with.
Is this a tri-lane with the Luna?
Hey, I tell you what I would like to see freeze on again.
Oh.
Is a Storm.
Storm Spirit. Well, yeah, won't get glimpsed. That's something. They don't really have that much lockdown. It's just the Tiny jumping in. Tusk has a little bit, but Storm might not be that bad, actually. But it's going to be the PL instead.
Okay.
Okay.
One of Freeze's most played, but he has played it a little bit. So, drafts are done. Players are ready. Our commentary team are waiting. So it's time to get our final predictions from you two good, fine gentlemen. We'll start with Jack, I think.
I'm not so sure about the PL pick. I feel like VP putting Ramses in that comfort kind of melee hero is who can also lane well into a tri-lane. I like VP's lineup in this game.
I'm getting a reverse caster's curse
He's
kind
trying.
of vibe
He's
from
trying
you,
his
Jack.
best here.
I was just trying to say, maybe I'm just trying to hand VP the poisoned milk and jinx them.
Yes, the overconfidence.
The poison milk. All right, Virtus Pro for Jack. Shannon.
I'm going to go Virtus Pro as well. I really like their lineup, but I think the Tusk is going to have a good time. Roger is an absolute beast, but I mean, we'll see.
All right, okay, both for Virtus Pro then. Okay, our panel are very decisive as far as the first game of the Grand Final, and it is the Grand Final. It is Game 1, so let's head to your commentary team. Virtus Pro versus VG.J Thunder.
All right, folks, it is time. Game 1 of the Grand Finals now getting underway. We have the draft done. Virtus Pro looking to become the first back-to-back major champion since OG last year. And in their ways, VG.J Thunder here in game number 1. Welcome in, folks. My name is Mon. With me is Brax. And Brax, forget about the series overall for now. What are you looking forward to here in game number 1 of this particular matchup?
Well, Mon, it's the grand finals. I'm hoping we have a great game. Should be good, right? These are the 2 best teams of the tournament currently.
Yes.
And I would say VP are probably the overall favorites, but in this game, I do really like VG.J Thunder's draft.
What about it really draws you in? Is it maybe the Yang Brewmaster? He's had a lot of success on that hero recently in the tournament.
Well, I'm big on the visuals, the cosmetics. I see Luna with this glowing shield, and it really appeals to me. Brewmaster's got the pirate theme going, but I like the early team fight up against the Gyrocopter. I think it helps make him a lot less strong, so I'm looking forward to that.
The Sylar Luna coming out, having great success so far in this tournament. They went through the group stages 3-0, almost going down to TNC. They lost 1 game in the grand finals at the start against TNC, and then, of course, Newbie in that 2-1 series, or the 2-0 series, rather. But good stuff so far from VG.J Thunder, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get into the game here in just a moment. Still waiting on the game start for now, but, of course, this is game 1. They talked about Roger, the support Tusk. Maybe not the best play on the Elder Titan yesterday, but his chin was phenomenal. Obviously, really good player at Katowice.
It's a new day, Mon, of course. It's time to shake off all the previous stuff. Time to bring your A game. Saw some lovely interviews yesterday from both these teams. VP, they are confident in themselves, but of course they expect VG.J Thunder to play their heart out.
Yeah.
Take it to the next level.
They should be confident as well. They have looked phenomenal in this tournament. They are so close to getting to that back-to-back major champions. As we jump into the game 1 of this series, we will see how the lanes shape up. They've already found Yang. The ice shards come out. They just missed them on the ice shards. They almost get the kill. That would have been a great start for the CIS team. The homing missile will still go. They'll still do some damage. He has 6 tangos to work with. They're trying to chase him down, but they don't have the toss ready. They don't have the ice shards back off cooldown. So Virtus Pro, this 5-man rotation down at the bottom lane, won't be able to really accomplish anything here.
That's called the case of the jitters, Mon. You know, that would have very easily been first blood, but they don't make it happen. At least they get to push him out so we can't get a ward down or control the lane, pull the wave back. It's not the end of the world.
But in terms of the lanes, it looks pretty stock standard for VG.J Thunder. You have the Brewmaster down bottom alone for now. You have the defensive tri-lane trying to get Sylar as much farm as possible, and I think for good reason. You give this Luna farm, forget about the early game and trying to team fight with Eclipse and all that stuff.
Every game, the Luna has been so strong, right? We've seen Luna top of the network charts in every game, so for good reason, playing safely.
Virtus Pro will go for the mid-gyrocopter like they've done in their last few matchups recently. The homing missile for no one to start things off, trying to get that first kill. Roger drops a sentry in the mid lane. He won't be able to find the D ward, though. He was very close by. DDC's going to start mid. They have the Bane. He'll probably go for the Enfeeble more than likely.
VP with the clear game plan. Split up and farm already at 30 seconds into the game. They know what's going on.
This is going to be the PL versus the Gyrocopter matchup. And he's already getting enfeebled, and he's going to have a rough time because of it. But the aggressive dual lane coming in, we saw from Virtus Pro the other day. They will have to do this into an Elder Titan in the top lane. And then bottom lane, Yang might get a little bit run at by Ramses on the Juggernaut at the start of this game as well.
Should be okay down bottom, though, but this mid lane is what I really want to see. How is the Gyrocopter to manage to come back in the last hit department when he just gets enfeebled over and over? And then once Freeze picks up some levels, too, they can easily pressure the Gyrocopter. It's not like anything can really help him, you know? He's screwed here in terms of last hits.
Remember, he can rely on those stack camps that we've seen previously from Gyrocopters. This top lane already, a lot of damage being done by both of the supports. Roger trying to man-fight Fade, who has plus 68 damage. Pasha, he's got the tree grab, so he has no real burst potential with the avalanche of the toss. Meanwhile, they'll get the kill bottom. The spin comes from Solo, the Thunder Strike. And it's Yang dropped down first and foremost, and they'll get first blood in this first game of the Grand Finals.
Very nice. It's extremely huge being able to kill the Brewmaster in that lane.
They're going to go top. The Snowball coming in. They've got the Astral, a couple more auto attacks. The Ice Shards, they bring down Sylar. Wow. That's even better for Virtus Pro, and they're looking for more. They might trade Roger. He's going to use the Fairy Fire. Fade's still stopping him down with the briefcase, but it's not enough to get the kill. The South comes out. There's the toss. Pasha, a couple more auto attacks might do it. They should have. Not enough mana for the Ice Shards available, but Pasha still has a little bit more in the tank. He's level 2. He's already used the toss. He's got the tree grab. He might throw the tree, but now Sylar comes back into the loose beam toss back from Sylar. The tree toss as well, and Pasha asserting his dominance in his top lane early on, Brax.
Dominance indeed. That was pretty crazy.
So I guess the answer to that mid lane matchup is if you're losing the mid lane, just try to get kills in the top and the bottom lane and win those 2 lanes.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not like they can actually do anything with rotations to gank up the Phantom Lancer anyways, right? He's left alone to just play catch up, but as long as he doesn't die, he's going to be totally okay.
The trade-off is that this PL is farming very well. 12 last hits, 1 to 9, no one taking a lot of damage as well, but that's to be expected because of DDC's start. And DDC is going to start roaming elsewhere, though. He doesn't need to stay mid, it looks like, and he seems pretty happy rotating elsewhere in the top lane.
It's extremely good for VP that they managed to kill Yang's Brewmaster down bottom, because the supports on the side of VG.J Thunder can't really afford to help in that lane. You know, they need to secure Luna's farm. It's a Tusk and Tiny, tons of aggression coming out from that lane, and they really need to worry about that.
Speaking of the aggression, DDC getting run at by Roger, but now he's the one in trouble. Lucenbeam coming at the last auto attack. They get off the Avalanche. Will not save his life, though, and now Pasha getting chased down. I don't know if they can get this kill. DDC's getting kind of close. They have the Lucent Beam, a couple more auto attacks. This might dive the tower. They have the toss available. The Stomp coming in, but he will not be able to avoid it. They're going to look for the kill. One more auto attack. The Lucent Beam, the Brain Zap is there from DDC. A lot of aggression in this top lane. Man fight central. The Snowball coming in. Roger needs one more auto attack, and he will find it. So he does get the trade. A bloodbath in this top lane, Grax. My God.
Oh, yeah. Action-packed top lane. This is what it's all about. You know, we've seen the Luna against the Gyrocopter. She's looked very successful, but in this game, VP, they're challenging the Luna's lane. We can see that in the last hits, only 9 up on Luna. And of course, kills being traded back and forth the entire time.
And I think Pasha's fine with this. He's still doing okay. I mean, see, that's why he's behind that of Sylar now, but...
The chaotic game favors the offlaner, right?
Yeah.
They're not dependent on being able to just sit there and farm forever, but
Well,
this is pretty rough.
Guys, this could be a bit worse, but he will stay alive with a good toss. Trying to find Yang in the bottom lane with the Blade Fury spin. They've already used the kinetic field. The Thunderstrike will come in as well. Solo trying to block. Can't quite get there in time, but he's got the glimpse back, and this is going to be trouble for this Brewmaster. Trying to juke and jab. He's got the salve. He needs to use it at the right time here, and should be able to get back to the tower and just pop it off real quick.
Solo was so close to having mana for the Thunderstrike. He was like 3 off with the stick charge.
Meanwhile, top lane again, another toss back, but Salar's got the Lucent Beam, the Avalanche coming in, and that will keep Pasha alive, but he's out of regen in this top lane. It is almost 5 minutes though, so the Shrine will be up pretty soon, Brax.
Yeah, but they've stabilized this lane on the side of VG.J Thunder. Every time VP come back up, they can always just push him out.
But the one thing you don't want to do is let no one back into the game. He now has 20 last hits in that mid lane against the Phantom Lancer. He's only 2 behind after that awful start with the Enfeeble coming out, and this is one of the best mid laners in the game right now, if not the best mid laner in the game.
Yeah, it's a very good point. We saw the laning difference between the Gyro and the Phantom Lancer early on because of the Enfeeble, but you're right, now he's caught up entirely.
So a small advantage for Virtus Pro. Even in levels as well, the Gyrocopter up 1 level on the peel. He actually just secures the level 5, so they're now even in levels in that mid lane. But it's a 1K advantage, but there will be a smoke from VG.J Thunder. They'll try to find no one in the mid lane. The Raindrop has been taken off by the Spirit Lance. This could be the right time to go for this gank. He has an Aquila and 2 wand charges. The Stomp is going to come in. This is not the easiest find. They'll have it, but the TPs are coming in en masse. They've got the Rocket Barrage. Freeze has to run. Roger looking for an ADC, but Freeze might be the target they're looking for. The Nightmare comes in. They want to find more, but he doppelgangers down to the low ground. Still, they will keep no one safe. The Ice Shards almost hitting, and Freeze just able to slip away.
So close.
Under the cover of darkness, the spin onto the bottom lane. Yang getting caught out. The Thunder Strike, the last auto attack, and Ramses gets the kill.
VP making it happen in every lane.
VG.J Thunder forced back. Still an even game, still a close game, but a hefty dive. They just don't have that initiation they were looking for the Gyrocopter in the mid lane. They had a Stomp to set it up. That's pretty much it.
Right, it's the slow into the Stomp, then you're waiting for the next Lance cooldown to come up before you really have a lot of damage. It was TP saving no one's life, and they almost turned it too.
And that's the kind of initiation they have, that counter initiation that we've seen when the Elder Titan is available on your team.
Oh yeah, you've always got to worry about that counter initiation.
Because fighting into the Brew Split, fighting into the Eclipse later on into the game might be tough. Yang in the bottom lane getting hit up. You use the spin. The TP was coming. It was actually canceled. There was going to be some help for Yang, but he's still actually having a pretty tough time. I think both offlaners kind of struggling at this point, Brax.
Yeah, Pasha, he can't really get close to the creeps anymore, but he's doing all right now.
Fade getting run down. The Rocket Barrage is a lot of damage. It's going to be another kill, and now Freeze trying to turn into Roger. He has another Spirit Lance in 2 seconds, but he still can't find that kill, and now no one will be able to get away just fine with 5 wand charges to boot and the Aquila coming back up.
Feels like none of the heroes on VG.J Thunder can match the Tusk's movement. Wherever he goes, Roger's able to set up a nice kill with the Ice Shard, Snowball, and then of course Tiny's picking up more levels, so then it's going to be even more dangerous for the Luna to stay in front, especially when Roger rotates in. And they can make moves in every lane. Look at this.
Omni Slash, Yang dead again. Ramses just a long enough range for that Omni Slash to get off in time. Another kill for this Jug. We've seen what Ramses can do when he gets room on this Juggernaut, or really on any hero, and he's doing great right now.
What a vocal player. What should I buy? I love when the players communicate with the chat wheel. It gives us a little brain-picking session, you know?
Virtus Pro are like the chat wheel masters, I feel like. They use it more than any other team from what I've seen.
Nice to see. Oh, they see Solo place the ward there, so.
That will get D-warded. That's their second D-ward in a row for VG.J Thunder. A big part of the reason Virtus.pro have been so dominant in this year in the tournament, especially against Optic yesterday, was the fact that they were able to have that vision advantage, and now that's not happening in the early stages of the game as VG.J Thunder are denying them. The toss, though, from Pasha. Look at that. Now Fade in trouble. The snowball. The Nightmare will not save him. The tree toss comes in from Pasha. Now Siler looking for an eclipse. He will find it. This is a lot of damage. He's trying to fog, but he turns for Pasha instead, and this might be 2 kills. Roger will go for the TP. They might have a Lucid Beam available, but it will be enough without it to get the kill. It's going to be 2 going for VG.J Thunder. Virtus.pro getting a little too aggressive. They do find that kill on DDC, but that's a lot of gold coming in for Sylar.
Yep, a little aggressive, but still. Ramsey's free farming essentially. No one, same thing. You know, when I see Luna, I always imagine, oh, Luna's got a fantastic late game. You know, you don't really have to worry about that. You can still be proactive and group up in the mid game to knock down some of these towers and play off the Lunar Blessing, but Ramsey's farming fantastically, so is no one top of the network charts.
Yeah, they are doing really well for this Virtus.pro. The cores on this team are just insane in what they can accomplish. They found Yang again. He's still only level 5. Ramsey says no Omni Slash. The Glimpse is going to come back, though. They've got the spin. The clap will come in a little bit too late. They've got the Thunder Strike. This should be another kill unless he can juke it. Thunder Strike doing a little bit more damage. They won't be able to finish him off. Now the call down coming in. Here's the Luna. They want this kill on a Sylar. The Rocket Barrage. They've got the homing missile. He's pretty fast, though. One more auto attack, or maybe the homing missile might do the job. He will stick up. He will Fairy Fire. Ramsey just needs one auto attack, and he will find it. And they might find Yang as well. No one is in there. He has a double damage. The spin comes out. DDC's in trouble. They're dying under the tower. It's a double kill for Ramsey in a dominating spree. VG.J Thunder are feeding under their tier 1 and Freeze needs to be careful that he doesn't do the same. And now it's more action in the top lane. They snowball Pasha's here, but they cannot find the initiation onto Fade. He will be back up under the tree line and be fine as they're pushing into the tier 1 tower in this top lane. Ooh, this run at you style of Dota is working out for Virtus.pro, but here come VG.J Thunder. Yang still not 6 yet. Pasha on the run with Roger. They'll drop the Frozen Sigil, and they should be able to get out, though.
I love when the cores make all these rotations because then it frees up the map for support heroes like Disruptor, for example, right? To pick up that earlier level 6, get some experience going so they can make some plays as well. It's nice to see.
He's close too. He's level 5 now. He's a level ahead of all the other supports in the game. He's getting free experience mid lane now, so getting level 6 and getting that early Static Storm. And that's going to be a key way to stop the Brewmaster from getting his ult off in a lot of these fights.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe it's a 3K gold lead at 9.5 minutes. That's insane.
It is a pretty big lead for Virtus.pro. They're working on treads for Pasha, Ramses, and no one have complete free farm with both of them being at the top of the network charts. Pasha actually in trouble in the top lane. The split will come out, though. They just get level 6 on the Brewmaster. This might be a nice free kill. The Ice Shards come in. They have the Cyclone. They might be able to get 2 out of this for VG.J Thunder. There's the 1. Can they get the second? They've dropped Roger to the ground with the Dispel Magic. The Cyclone is now done. The auto attacks are there. They've got the Fire Panda Imlet. He will use the Snowball to save his life for the moment, but I don't think it's going to be for that much longer. Roger's still level 5. The split is done, but the stomp will hit. They should have a clap ready to go. He's actually out of mana, but he has tick charges to use it. Roger will try for the TP. I don't think it's going to be in time. Look at the damage from Fade. He just slaps him down with a briefcase.
Yep. VG.J Thunder, they make it happen with the split. That's exactly what they need. They need to be able to find these kills, these pickoffs with the use of their ultimates, but of course they are operating on extremely long cooldown ultimates in the Eclipse and the Primal Split, so it gives windows for VP to fight around it.
Yeah, I mean, they could just start running with call down and just take fights if they wanted to for Virtus.pro.
Right, like the most important cooldown would probably be like the Glimpse to actually catch someone. You know, they don't need to follow it up with these extremely long cooldown abilities.
They have these early oriented fighting items. Phase Drum, pretty common on a Gyrocopter, makes sense. So if they want to start getting involved, they'll have the level 6 of the Disruptor. He's like 1 creep away from having it. The good news for VG.J Thunder is because of that fight happening in the top lane, it gives more room for Sylar to get to his Mask of Madness in the bottom lane. He's getting close as well.
Yeah, Mask of Madness Luna farms ridiculously fast, especially on Dire with this triangle of jungle camps. This is probably like the Dire's favorite position to be on the map, you know? You've got the high ground advantage to protect yourself while you farm all the jungle camps out. It's very difficult for the enemy to invade, and you also have a shrine to keep yourself safe.
It's why that vision that's placed down by Virtus.pro is that much more important. Getting that ward down, trying to find the Luna in the jungle, get her while she's farming. They've even smoked up. They're going to try to find this kill with Roger. The snowball will come in. Sylar getting chased down the kinetic field. They have the glimpse. They've got the static storm. This should be a kill. They have the Omni Slash. The Nightmare comes in. Maybe not. They'll turn this around. The Omni Slash going with the spin. The Ice Shards actually hurts them. They've got the Fiends, but they're turning it around. And now they might want to try to fight this with Freeze TPing in. The Lucid Beam. The Eclipse is there. And Ramses is dead. A big turn for VG.J Thunder. Wow. They all grouped up. The Ice Shards actually hurts Virtus.pro. What a fight for them. What a turnaround.
The sleep bought so much time, even in the static storm, dodging at the attacks. It's very nice.
No one will find a kill in the mid lane, though, onto Freeze. He throws up the cooldown. The homing missile, the rocket barrage is more than enough damage. So even though they get the kill on the Juggernaut, no one has now taken over the top network spot in this game.
That's very unexpected, being able to die to a solo gyrocopter like that.
And they're going to get another one potentially. They've got the homing missile. It changes direction mid-flight. They get off the Nightmare. The rocket barrage is still going. The brain sap makes DDC rather tanky. The Thunderstrike and another rocket barrage will go, though, and that will secure yet another kill for no one in this mid lane.
With the glimpses over and over, you're able to find so many pickups, especially when you have this mid-game advantage where you can keep fighting. But VG.J Thunder have bridged the gold gap a little bit, right? It's not growing for Virtus Pro, so it's a good sign.
They've been stuck at like a 2K lead for the past 4 minutes or so. They haven't gotten any real objectives yet other than the Tier 1 tower bottom. They're trying to take the Tier 1 top, limit that Luna's farm. And I think the big objective for Virtus Pro, take that Tier 1 tower in the mid lane so you can really start getting the vision, you can really start getting the map control, and taking that Luna out of her comfort zone.
Once you can knock down some of these towers, ward up the jungle, start to play in that area, then it becomes really difficult for Luna to move out and farm these jungle camps. And that's the reason why we see this hero get so farmed in all these games. She clears out creep waves extremely fast, then you can use that time to move into the jungle camps, and of course she clears ancient stacks really fast too. So yeah, being able to limit that by taking these towers, then invading the area, it's exactly what you want to do.
And we had a quick pause, but it doesn't seem to be anything too big, and they will unpause and get back into the game. There is another smoke for Virtus Pro. They found Freeze. They have found the real Freeze, but he will use the Doppelganger. They have no vision now to find a glimpse of him. That's going to be a nice save, getting that Doppelganger off, and that will give him some extra time and some stability to get back into his mid lane.
If that was any other hero, they find a kill there, but PL, extremely difficult to lock down with all the illusions. You don't know which one to glimpse.
Yeah. Still, both teams farming really well. Virtus Pro, especially with their cores. They're getting close to that Battle Fury for Ramses despite dying. They're still fine. Good scan from the Radiant, though, to find out the fact that they're running at them. Virtus Pro are getting run at by VG.J Thunder with the smoke. And Ramses is up close, though. He might get caught. I think he's spotted them. He's going to back up to the high ground. They're sitting on the dire ward here, so they spot no one. So fighting into this for VG.J Thunder is kind of tough. They found the Static Storm. They need the Omni Slash. They need the spin, and they will get it off. He gets the Nightmare, and he actually just survives. The split comes in now. The Earth Splitter doing some work. They've got the Fiend, but Ramses is going in. But DDC gets hit by a homing missile, and now DDC's actually in trouble. The Rocket Barrage, the Flacken, they're still turning this. Even with the Bruce Split, it's 2 dead on the side of VG.J Thunder, and now they've caught out the Earth Panda. They just need to take it down. That's all they need to do, but they will just take down the Brewmaster instead as he comes back into his normal form. 3 dead, and now Freeze might get caught out as well by no one. If he's not careful, they'll spot him out, and Freeze will try to back himself away, but a big fight for Virtus Pro in that top jungle, Brags.
Wow, that is actually ridiculous. They managed to, they knew that was there. You know, they scouted no one out there. Wait, can we kill this?
I don't think so. It's close, but...
Still, pushes them back, right? Now you can push out these lanes, and you know Freeze isn't still farming. But yeah, they knew that Virtus Pro were up there on the high ground, and they managed to save Yang's Brewmaster, and he got the split off. That was very well played, but I don't know. Gyrocopter at this stage of the game is ridiculous to fight into.
It's so hard to fight into. And they didn't even have the Tiny there. There was no Tiny. Conversely, there was no Luna either. But the Tiny, we haven't really seen him for the past few minutes. He's pretty much at his blink tagger. He's about to buy it right now, I believe, for Pasha.
Yep. And with no split now, VP smoking up into the bottom lane, trying to catch Luna, especially with Pasha.
DDC was in biz, but they'll find Siler. The toss avalanche combo, they blow him up immediately. They're looking for more on Defade. They have no homing missile available for the Rocket Rush, and they are able to chase him down. Look at that damage, and no one on a mega kill streak now. It is 2 dead. Virtus Pro, they've got this 4K advantage. Can they turn it into anything, though, Brax, like the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane?
Perhaps they could. Look at them invading the bottom side, so they get a nice Observer ward up. So this is Luna's prime farming area, right? Now they will know when Luna is in that area. They can gank, they can set up plays. VP are so good at placing these deep wards. Every game, it feels like they have 4 wards on the enemy side of the map, so they can keep making plays just like this.
This glimpse is actually a little bit awkward, though. They wanted to go for the toss Ava combo. They couldn't quite find it. Yang still doesn't have the Bruce, but he'll try for the clap, but I don't know if that's going to save his life. The homing missile comes in, the Thunderstrike. They just need one more auto attack, and they will find it from no one. And that's Yang dead yet again. They're abusing these cooldowns, Brad.
Yes, they are indeed. Every time Glimpse is up, they can look for these pickoffs, and you can't run from them. You know, they have Glimpse to catch you. Gyrocopter moves at 500 move speed. Tiny with the Blink Dagger, able to find these setups too.
They're trying to get whatever they can for Sylar, but this is the map control. This is the game being played by Virtus Pro. Do not let Sylar get farmed. Do not let him get out of control. Do not let him get to that rapier territory we've seen from him in many of these games in this tournament.
You know, Disrupt is such a VP hero, right? They want to keep pressing these advantages that they have in the mid game. You can't actually dodge this hero very well just because of the extremely long catch range onto Glimpse. It helps you extend this lead even further.
And they're trying to find more with it as well, except this time it's just the Tiny and the Tusk, and that's really all they need. The Disruptor was coming, he's not needed there.
Yeah, they've got so many different ways to start these fights, right? You've got Tiny with the Blink Dagger, Tusk Catch, and of course the Glimpse.
VG.J Thunder trying to take their own jungle back now, and they need to. The kill they got onto Sylar transitioned into like 3 wards being placed down. They had such good vision aggressively on the other side of the map that VG.J Thunder are like, okay, where do we farm now? And the waves are always constantly being pushed in by Virtus.pro, which is another good thing that they're doing in this game. And so this 8K advantage it's going to get bigger as this game progresses.
Ramsey's up top, finds Sylar.
The Omni Slash is going to be going there, and Sylar's in trouble. They have the spin available, I believe. He won't use it, though. They're going to get back to the Shrine, and so Ramsey's backs off. Sylar is able to survive, but you can see how tough it is for him to farm, even as the Dragon lets to keep him a little bit more tanky. Sylar's still having a kind of a rough time in this game with getting this one.
Everywhere VG.J Thunder move, though, they're always under pressure.
They're always under pressure as well from at least one of these heroes.
It's a dangerous game. You can't farm any of these lanes very safely at all because you have no idea where they're camping.
We've seen like 1 Bruce split, maybe 2 this game be successful. They have not been able to be aggressive on VG.J Thunder. And when you have a Brewmaster, that feels pretty bad. You want to try to get in and try to do as much work as possible when you have the cooldown available.
You know, Yang picked up the Blink Dagger like 5 minutes ago, too.
Yeah.
And they are unable to team fight even with the Blink Brew split.
That feels pretty bad for the Brewmaster for sure. The scan will be successful, but I don't know if Virtus.pro want to do anything here.
I mean, just look at the way VG.J have to play, right? It's the buddy system. They're all sitting together, farming the same jungle camp, just sitting around while VP can spread and divide, conquer the entire map instead of just a small portion of it.
Yeah, farm the enemy jungle even as well. Kinetic Field, the Gloom's back. Doesn't really work out, but they do have the Ice Shards. The cooldown coming, the Stomp is going to be there, but it will not hit on no one. Good Nightmare safe, the cooldown's still going. They've got the stun up, they've got the Rocket Barrage. They need one more auto attack, and they will find it. Pasha, the Eclipse coming in, not doing that much damage. So the Snowball save is there in time, and the Walrus Punch coming in on the other side. They will find DDC. Now Sylar trying to bring down Pasha would be a big kill for him if he could. The toss is there, the Ice Shards. He's still alive. He will get dropped down to the backside, I believe, by the Earth Panda, but they will find another target. That's going to be Freeze down. The PL is dead. Sylar has to run, so does Yang. The Bruce split is over. Roger's still up there. All 5 still living. The Ice Shards will keep them in for now. They'll get through a small crack, and they'll blink themselves to safety. At least one of them will. Sylar will not, but he'll be able to walk back up to the high ground here momentarily. They've got the Stomp coming in, another Ice Shards coming through. Now Fade getting chased down, but they don't want to dive the Tier 3 tower. Still another fantastic fight for Virtus.pro.
Another Bruce split, and still another 1 team fight for VP. This is supposed to be your ultimate that wins you these team fights at this stage of the game, especially with the Eclipse, but they just can't find it.
They were so close to getting Pasha too.
Yes, they were. But even if they kill Pasha, it's still not actually a 1 team fight, right? It's a nice consolation prize if they manage to find the tiny kill, but this game's all VP.
23-8, they're taking giant ancient stacks. They're farming the entire map. They have a 10K lead at 19.5 minutes into the game. This is all without taking the last Tier 2 towers on both top and bottom, and then Roshan is still available and has been since the beginning of the game, but they will take it soon, more than likely, if they can get a team fight win and abuse these cooldowns yet again.
Yeah, we've definitely got to think that Roshan's and VP's next objective they want to look at, especially with the Juggernaut, right? The healing ward lets you keep at full HP while you do Rosh, so you're in no real danger. I guess they do have Elder Titan, so it is pretty hard to take it when the Spirit Shift's on top and it stomps you over and over because it sets that up. Yep, Solo looking to place a ward. I think he just missed DDC, but didn't really matter. Couldn't actually glimpse him anyways, but yeah. This is it, Roshan control. And there's even a haste ring outside it.
And they even have the BKB for no one. How are you supposed to fight into this in Jug Spin?
Exactly, right? There's no damage that goes through the magic community. And if you can't lock down these heroes immediately and kill them within like a stun or whatever, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
Gyrocopter moves at 500 move speed.
They have to fight based around this Eclipse. They have to fight based around this PL. They've got the Glimpse back. They found the Nightmare for DDC to keep him alive. The Thunderstrike will take off the raindrop. Pasha's coming in. A little bit too slow. The Glimpse was already used, so he should be okay. But there's Pasha flicking, maybe not. Wow, he actually just destroys him. The Static Storm coming out just to make sure Freeze can't go to work on Pasha. Pasha's fine. They get the Aegis along with the kill, and maybe now a Tier 3 tower push or slow siege here. And another Glimpse from Solo, but he's okay. Doppelganger's at the right time for Freeze to get him back to safety, so he will be okay.
The PL Disruptor matchup is so hard. Oh, BKB.
No one is just popping the BKB. He is in the Rocket Barrage. Sylar can do nothing. He is dead for 53. He will be alone now in the grave while the rest of his team is, they have to defend their towers on their own. 4 versus 5, essentially.
You know, I once spoke to a wise man who described the situation as really feeling themselves. VP doing fantastic, really riding the momentum. There's honestly nothing that VG.J Thunder can do currently. They need more items, but with VP's lineup, it's always the Juggernaut Gyro combo, right? These two heroes hit this mid-game power spike, and they're so good at forcing these objectives.
I mean, they'll just clear the creep wave. They'll do what they can. Elder Titan pretty good at high ground defense. They're forced to Brew Split now. That'll be down, but it does at least bridge the gap between the Luna respawning. But they might even lose this Brewmaster if they're not careful. It's only the Earth Bandit now alive. Pasha's looking for freeze. They've got the shards. Brewmaster in trouble. The Walrus Punch keeping it bay. And they actually get the kill through the split for Virtus Pro. The Earth Splitter comes in, but it's too little too late. They'll kill the illusions. They can continue to siege. They still have the Aegis to work with Virtus Pro. This tier 3 tower will fall. There's no glyph available. There's no Brew Split. This Luna has Eclipse, but how much will that do? Roger's in deep. They've got the Lucent Beam. They've got the Fiend's Grip, so they will get at least one kill. It might be time to back into Virtus Pro. The Nightmare coming in. That's the sleep. They want the Rex. I don't know if they want to go. Pasha has the Blink Dagger at the ready, though, to try to find a combination on somebody with a Toss Avalanche. Ramsey's getting attacked by Sylar. A lot of damage being done. He's going to spin and try to finish off the racks. He will do so. The building down bottom has been taken care of. Ramsey's getting low, but he keeps the Aegis alive. The BKB forced by no one. Freeze was thinking about chasing him to the high ground, now decides against it, and Virtus Pro will get out with only the loss, maybe only the loss of the Tusk.
Nice play from no one to BKB there. It pushes VG.J's heroes back so they can't actually chase and run them down, because they did need to commit quite a bit to finish off that Rax after Roger died, right? Juggernaut spun to attack it, and then he was out to spin, but he managed to finish it off. This game is spiraled out of control for VG.J Thunder.
It is all Virtus Pro.
Yes, it is. And I mean, we really see it in the net worth now with Ramses and no one being so far ahead of their counterparts. I guess Sylar's BKB could be a difference maker. There is a lot of damage on the side of Virtus Pro, but it's also instant damage, right? What happens if he gets tiny combo, and he can't get his BKB off? He's gonna lose half his health just to that alone. Then pop the BKB and it probably won't do anything.
He needs another 2 items to compete with all of these heroes for Virtus Pro.
Right, the BKB is a step in the right direction, but it's really gonna be that next item afterwards that is the big deal maker.
Without the BKB, he just gets run down, like we've seen already by no one. They'll find another target, that's DDC. He gets the TP off, but the glimpse comes back in at time, and no one is now godlike. I feel like I've seen this before on his gyrocopter.
Oh yeah, me too. And they usually end in wins.
And it's looking pretty good for that now. 23 minutes in, a 17k advantage. Ramses will try to spin and take down the tower. They've got the homing missile coming in, but VG.J Thunder are just sitting here and watching now.
They just get pushed back by all these spells, right? You have to worry about the glimpse back, the flat cannon, the homing missile.
There's the Brew Split. They might find Ramses. He's still the healing ward going. I think they've got the Frozen Sigil coming out as well. He's okay. Pasha's there. They're looking for the Avalanche Toss combination. The Earth Splitter coming out. Not doing much. They've got the Lucent Beam onto Ramses, but no one's really dying for Virtus Pro. They've just used the Brew Split, and nothing really came of it, other than they slow down the tower seed for this Radiant team.
Yep, and Ramses is just getting earned up too, so he'll be ready to go back in and fight.
Black Cannon will go. They're looking for a combination for Pasha. They get the sleep off onto no one. Now Yang's going to jump back and he pops the BKB. The stomp hits onto this Juggernaut, but they're pushing it back with the flat cannon so much that Sylar and DDC are almost dead. They have to go back to the well. It means they can't defend this building. It's going to get dropped down the barracks in trouble. Roger might die again, but the snowball comes in. Sylar's still super low. He should survive. He has to heal up, but that's the top rack's gone, and Virtus Pro so close to taking this first game in about 30 minutes time.
Without an engagement. Right, BKB from no one with the flat cannon just to zone off all these heroes. Roger almost snipes Sylar. They can't fight at all. VP are playing this, they play with so much patience, and their pushes are very calculated. They never overstep their bounds. They know exactly what they're there to do. Take the tower, back up, game is secured.
I like that they use their items and their abilities knowing that they need to get these buildings down.
Right, they don't actually care about the fight. Once they take that tier 3, then there's really no hope of VG.J Thunder being able to defend.
As soon as the Brew Split is down, there's really no issue for them. They have to fight into the Luna. That's a big issue, but not if she doesn't walk up. And without the Brew Split and with Flat Cannon doing so much damage, there's nothing they can really do for VG.J Thunder.
There's so many random AoE abilities that come out, right? There's the shard damage, and you're getting hit by the Flat Cannon constantly. And if you don't actually start the fight onto VP's lineup, you're already at half health, and then there's no fighting from that point either.
Virtus Pro, they have picked up the Butterfly on Ramses, and no one is not too far behind either. They have an Echo Saber for Pasha. The amount of damage they are doing, the amount of late game potential they will have, even if this game goes sour somehow, they're still in a really good position. They will find maybe Fade. Ramses is looking for that Omni Slash. Fade is pretty speedy. Sylar might be the bigger target. He has his BKB. The Omni Slash will come through. He's got the Battle Fury. That's just a dead Elder Titan. He doesn't even care that didn't bounce to Sylar. It doesn't really matter at that point. In the meantime, no one's just pushing the tier 3.
Yup, and VG.J Thunder, they need to respond. This is it. This is their last set of buildings. with no ET, they have, I guess, no real base defense, right? Look at this.
Roger, the BKB is popped for Salar, but he's already at half HP. The Glaives are coming in. Roger will snowball in time to save his life, but the Bruce Split is there. The one more auto attack for no one to get Salar. He gets the kill. He'll have to buy back, but no BKB available. Freeze is getting low. No one is just running at the enemy team. They'll get another one. Freeze down for 57 seconds. They get off the Fiends group, but the toss to cancel it by Pasha, backing everybody up. They can't even get the Gyrocopter. Maybe they get the Tiny out of this, but he's so tanky. He's got the status resistance to fall back on. GG is called. Virtus Pro rout VG.J Thunder in the first game of this best-of-5 final, Drax.
My God, dominance asserted in the first game, Lot. And this is up against Sylar's Luna. We've seen his Luna go off every game.
They just didn't give him any room.
No, and that's it.
They run at VG.J Thunder continuously from the moment go, and they do not let up. They get 30 kills in a 26-minute game. They were at like a 10K net worth lead at like 19 minutes, something ridiculous. I'm sure it was even more.
The aggression just never stops with this team, right? They play off these low cooldown spells like the Glimpse, the Juggernaut Spin. It's not all about these big ultimates, right? They're always just looking for these fights. That's why they love the Tiny so much, the Tusk. All these heroes that are just ready to fight at every stage of the game.
Really solid game overall for Virtus Pro. Remember, it is a best-of-5. This is VG.J Thunder, a very good team in their own right. But we will take a break. We'll get the thoughts of the panel. So we'll send it back over to Red Eye and the rest of the crew.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mort. Yes, game one in the bag for Virtus Pro, and what a dominant performance it was. We've had a small substitution on our panel. We've got Purge with us alongside Sunsfan to break down that first game. Kevin, that was very brutal from Virtus Pro.
Yeah, it's kind of just reminiscent of the ways that they've been dominating other teams, which is just really fast play, smart picks, and they're just making really talented players look weak. I think no one had an incredible performance that game. He did 29,000 damage. Next closest was 11.5. Yeah. He just by far, he went 11.09. Like, that was just an incredible gyro performance.
And they made Sylar look pretty average on that Luna, which we thought was the case before, but then we watched him play it previously and went, oh, wow, okay, that looks pretty good. And we said during the draft, didn't we, Sunsfan, have they got a plan? Do they come into this thinking, yeah, we know how to deal with this?
Yeah, I think they just gave up too much for VP, right? Because like Purge was talking about, VP likes to play really fast, and you give them the best, I feel like the best early game team ever. You got Juggernaut, Tiny, Gyro, all kind of snowball heroes in Northern Garden. You have a literal snowball hero in Tusk setting up these ganks, and it didn't start well, and that's when it gets really scary, especially when you're playing against a team of that caliber.
And yeah. I think that's just based on the heroes they picked. When you have a Tusk as well as a Tiny in the offlane, both are very survivable. Both are very good at chasing, and with Snowball, they can buy themselves time to continue attacking. And Luna is a strong laning contributor as a carry, but she's not the same as something like a Gyro who can output tons of damage and can also lane well. So if they pressure her and they keep her busy like that, they can just limit her ability to collect farm, and if she does die a little bit more often, which VP should be confident because they're so good, then it's just going to impact her ability to even get close to carrying the game.
That was a great example here, Kevin, as well. The fact that they were able to break up the fights. They were able to take fights where it was always 3v1 or 4v1. There was never any 5-man VG.J clump-ups that they had to deal with.
That's partly the Phantom Lancer pick as well. The hero just doesn't contribute that much in the early game. Obviously survivable in lane, and that's one of the things VG.J was concerned about, was making sure that their matchup wasn't too bad. So maybe it was draft related, but that hero definitely takes a while to come online. Even though it is good against Gyro in the late game, didn't matter, didn't even get close to that.
I mean, a bit early for the second draft yet, we've still got a little bit of time, Shannon, but you've got to look at both sides thinking, well, VP don't care about the Luna, but VG.J definitely care about that Gyro.
Yeah, I think we might see the ban. I mean, that's the problem. Like, there's so many other heroes that we can play, right? So it is partly a draft thing. It's not just their lineup, but like there's not like really a formula of beating Virtus Pro, right? Just like any tier 1 team. But I think the teams that have found success with them are teams that try to maybe match their aggression, which that's definitely not the lineup for that. Or you go for kind of a slower pace, more disciplined, have a little save perhaps. Like Bane is not going to save anybody that early on against this lineup. So I think the draft is a huge part of that game. Because I don't think, like we talked about, VP made them look pretty bad in this game. I don't think they're that far away.
No, absolutely. Right? And Kevin, do you think that the PL Luna is too slow for this starter team?
I would say the PL probably is. I think their support duo is definitely good at pressuring and fighting in the early game, and Brewmaster as well can get some of that done, but he ended up getting solo killed in the offlane really early. That wasn't solo, but they killed him very early, and the dual lane went really well in the offlane. They need to make sure that they win their lanes a little bit better, because VP just snowballed them from the start, and then Gyro created so much pressure in the mid game that a hero like PL can't even get close. And even like Luna is limited. She's got Eclipse, but that's about it in terms of gank and teamfight potential. So while their heroes did match up pretty well late game, in that like mid-game stage after a poor laning stage, they weren't even close to the same capabilities.
Yeah, the two main cores, Ramses and No One, having pretty much a field day actually in that particular game. 7-1 and 6 for Ramses Juggernaut, and 11-0-9 on the Gyro for No One. And I guess both of those are in contention for the MVP, Shannon, which is your shout this game.
I would agree with Purge that it's probably No One. I think obviously a lot of space was created with Roger on Tusk, and you can always say that for your supports, like, oh, but he opened it up for his core to take over. But the damage discrepancy is beyond ridiculous.
But he also played another exceptional game on that Tusk.
Yeah, absolutely. He played really well.
Yeah, he's hunting another MVP.
I think it's fair to give it to No One this game. I feel like he flies a little bit under the radar because he doesn't maybe talk as much in interviews. He's not maybe the most outgoing guy, but his Dota should be speaking for himself, and the fact that he didn't die, that he was a part of 20 kills, that he got 29,000 damage, and the next closest was 11. And it wasn't even just like, oh man, flat cannon hits everybody. It wasn't like call down hits everybody. It was just insane that he was just getting solo kills constantly. Yeah. He was in almost every kill.
I don't think there's a better player to interview than No One, actually. Because it's almost like a challenge to make him say more than 2 words as a response, right? Yeah. It's actually pretty entertaining.
But he's quite good on camera, though.
He is. That's the thing.
Gives us some things to talk about. Yeah. That green bar, by the way, it should be further off the side, but that's the edge of the screen. We can't go any further than that. For 29.5K, yeah. That is your MVP by Telecom. And it is No One.
And that's a standard deviation. That means like being outside of that is insane. This is obscenely above average. That is why there's no contest in giving him MVP here.
All right, good stuff. Back to the drawing board for our Chinese friends. I joked a little bit during the opening panel, Kevin, that maybe VG need to give them the first game, because if they win the first game, maybe that wakens the beast, and then Virtus.pro are like, right, they've won one, right, we're going to steamroll them 3 more games in a row. Maybe this is the plan.
I don't think so. I feel like VP is somebody that can take that snowball and take that confidence and keep going. And it's got to be scary for VG.J. I mean, they made a lot of their players look kind of weak there. DDC felt out of position multiple times. Maybe they can have somebody that really pays attention to what happened, why they lost, adjust the hero picks. Because I think in something, they need like this overwhelming tri-lane advantage or dual lane advantage maybe to offset the fact that VP is so practiced at fighting and outsmarting their opponents, because they need to win the lanes better, or they need to maybe just prioritize those strong lane winners themselves, like Gyro or Razor, to help give them a bigger advantage there.
I'm kind of on board with your theory, actually.
You gave me some weird hand feature things when they were finishing off that last game. You were like,
yeah.
Do you really think it's going to be 3-0 now? Is that what it was such a good performance?
All right, so I'm not saying they did that on purpose, right, losing, but the one team that's going to have overconfidence from winning game 1 so easily is Virtus.pro. I think game 2 is going to be their best shot to get that game, and if they do, like Purge is saying, that's where you get the confidence to try to continue to find success in the series. But if that game's any indication, we could very well have that sweep. I don't know. It's too early to tell, though. It's just game 2 coming up.
That's true. Thank you very much. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we will have Game 2's draft here. Is it all a smoke screen by ROTK, or are Virtus.pro in pole position for yet another major? We're going to find out as we head into Game 2 very shortly.